People have been telling stories since they've figured out how to communicate. From cave paintings to parchment to pixels, we use words and pictures to communicate ideas and experiences. Think about when missionaries make contact with remote people groups. The first thing they do is they start to act out the story of Scripture. And that's because story is a language that everyone speaks. Jesus was a master storyteller. He could make you feel a truth before you even understood it. People would gather by the thousands to get lost in his words, and his parables would stick with them for days. Like when you watch a really trippy movie and you just can't stop thinking about it, or when the credits roll and you've been so moved by the last 90 minutes that you're not ready to leave that place yet. You just want to stay in the story a little longer. You see, I think Jesus knew that the way to a person's heart wasn't just to tell them a good story. It was to invite them into the story. Vantage is a storytelling company, and we believe that the most powerful stories are found in the Bible. Our videos are told from a first-person perspective, from people who actually lived and experienced the events in Scripture firsthand. When you tell stories in this way, it communicates so much more than just information. We want you to see the world the way the characters saw it, to feel what they felt, to resonate with Rahab's desperation and hopelessness, to burn with righteous anger with Saul as he cheered at the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. We invite you to enter the pages of Scripture and experience the other side of the story.
The scoring process can take a few different forms, but almost always it starts with just one single piano, where I'm usually watching footage or I have some idea of where the setting is taking place or what kind of emotive energy we're trying to put into the score. From there, I usually start bringing in strings to really create that emotional connection, and depending on the emotion of the piece, I will bring in different percussive instruments, whether they're real or synthesized. But again, it always starts with that melody that's trying to communicate what the piece wants to say.
Really, we're trying to communicate that the story of Scripture is inviting people into the larger story. So it's calling people to see what role they play in the story God's been telling all throughout redemption history.
We have an incredibly hardworking, talented crew that puts each of our stories together, but we don't want people to ever have to pay or watch an ad to watch one of our stories. If you believe in what we're doing and you want to see us make more of these videos and tell more stories, would you consider being one of our producers? Producers are just people that believe enough in a story that they're willing to invest in it to see it come to life. Whether you donate $5 or $5,000, every donation fuels future films and frees our team up to keep doing what we love.
There's a huge difference between a sermon and a first-person narrative. The stories we tell with Vantage are so important because they're going to reach the people who won't be found in church on a Sunday morning.
I truly believe in rehumanizing the ways that these stories are told. I get to bring my own personal context, my interpretation of these stories, and try to relate other people to them through the music that I create.
So where do you see yourself in our story? Would you consider partnering with us in bringing the Bible to life? Become a producer at VantageStories.com.